Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Welcome to the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy. Tell him who you are, baby. Tell him.
Your boy Duff. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, Duff is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Not much. How you
My
been?
boy Malik Duff, man. Let me tell you right now, if you are in the volunteer services in Long Island and you don't know that name, Malik Duff, let me tell you right now, then really who are you if you don't know that name? Anyway, I know who you are, definitely do, and I'm pretty sure the listeners do, but
Okay.
Tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them how long you've been in the volunteer services, what ranks you've held, and what company.
All right. So I'm a member.
Department, of course.
I got you. So I'm a member of the Roosevelt Fire Department. I've been in Alpha Hook and Ladder Truck 1 for the last 10 years. I was a lieutenant for about 4.
Okay.
Still a training officer for the department. So, that's about it for now. And right now, just, I help with training and when I'm in town, and that's really about it. But,
All right. When you're in town, so we're going to talk about that. When you're in town, we're going to talk about that. All right, so, Duff, let's start from and that's another thing. People call you Duff, right? They don't call you, well, who calls you Duff? Who calls you Malik? That's like me. Like people call me Chris, some people call me Super. So what do they call you? I know I call you Duff.
Everybody usually calls me Duff.
Okay.
It's easier. I mean, it started basically back in elementary school. There were 2 Maliks, so everybody always just called me by my last name.
Okay.
So it's kind of just stuck since
just
then.
stuck from there.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is from there. All right, so let's start. My bad. Let's start from the beginning, right?
Okay.
How many years you said you have in?
10. Yeah, I joined October 2014.
All right, so 10 years. 10 years ago, what makes you say, I'm going to join the volunteer services?
Well, I wanted to be a fireman since I was a kid.
Okay.
It was one of my dreams.
Well, why? What? Like, was there anyone in before that?
No.
Like, what was it? You just...
I honestly don't know. Like, I just remember being young. It was like firefighting, being a cop, or being in the military. It was like always something I wanted to do, and I wound up doing almost all of them. So I remember I came home one day from my base in Brooklyn, and I smelled something burning. I'm walking around the house, couldn't find anything. Look out the window, see somebody running down the block. I walk out the house 2 houses over, it's just rocking.
It's going.
And I was like, and honestly, I see why people feel like we take for a long time to get there, because it did feel like an eternity. And then reality, exactly. And then reality was only minutes, you know. But
when that's going,
it was going. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I talked to one of the guys, ex-chief Nunn. Him and my mom were good friends. So he was like, come down Sunday, 9 a.m. And I'm like, who's getting up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday? So it took me a little while to get down there. And then my boy, Chief Dawkins, saw me one day on a call, because I used to buff all the Roosevelt's calls. And I'm like, what y'all doing over there? And he was like, bro, like, you keep popping on these calls, like, just come to Firehouse. So I went down there, and, truck got me, and loved it ever since.
All right, so you said something, and I don't know if everybody caught. You said base. So where were you? Let's start from, I don't know, age 18. Because you said base, so that means military.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk there. So you already was about serving.
Yeah.
Right?
So I joined the Marines when I was 17. My mom signed up for me because she loves me so much.
Okay. You could join at 17?
With your parents' signature.
Okay.
So she signed off 17. I wanted to turn 18 a month later anyway.
Okay, all right. So
I left to go to Paris Island August 1st of 2011, like basically a month after we graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
Did that, did my combat training, went to Cali for almost a year for other communications, so I worked on radios and satellites.
Okay.
And then I was back here. My unit was in Brooklyn, Floyd Bennett Field, and then I wound up coming over to the unit that was in Farmingdale. I was in one in Garden City for a little bit.
Okay.
I was in Massachusetts for a little while, so kind of bounced around.
All over.
So,
right.
But yeah, did about 8 years in the Marines, in reserves. Yeah.
How was that, man? Like,
I loved it, honestly. I would go back. I would definitely go back. In today's climate,
maybe
but,
not.
But yeah, definitely loved it. Definitely taught me a lot of discipline,
Okay.
and definitely helped me, grow as a person.
A person, especially, the fire services being paramilitary, you come in already understanding that.
Yeah.
So the day you see the fire, you're like, holy.
Yeah.
and you were like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yep.
Right? So you pull up to Roosevelt. Like, what did you go? Did you go down that Sunday? Just go through that story again of who you talked to and what made you pick Roosevelt.
Well,
living there?
I live, yeah, basically living here.
Okay.
And then, like I said, like Chief Dawkins, every time he see me, would get on me like, yo, what's taking you so long? Like,
Why
where
ain't
you at?
joining
Like,
yet?
when it comes to recruitment, that's your guy right there. Like, if this man sees you, like, yo, come join the fire department,
That's right.
you call him my Jamaican sensation. We need to get him down here too.
We do.
But like he'll see you, he'll talk to you, chop it up, and then he'll see you again, and
he'll make sure.
He's gotten a lot of guys in this department. I'll give him that.
Wow.
But finally got me down there. And they were talking to me. I was looking through different trucks and everything, trucks and engines, and I was like, you know what? They explained to me what truck does, like search and rescue, extrication, all of that. I was like, that's very hands-on, and like that's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what?
This is what you're gonna do.
This
Now
is what I wanna
there's
do.
something, and you tell me if I'm wrong or not. In Roosevelt, when you are on probation, don't you do every company?
Yeah, so you rotate.
So explain that, because some departments don't do that. So I'm Uniondale. We don't do that. If someone comes down to Brookside, they're in the engine and that's it. You're not going to go to truck, go over there. But in Roosevelt, that's different. So can you explain that dynamic of how that works?
So basically, like you said, you come in. I believe it's 4 months now. So you do 4 months truck, 4 months engine, and you do some time.
4 months.
And you do some time in EMS. So through each company, we have a packet that we have to sign up on, your officers.
Okay.
So you have to know the truck, you have to know your job. So with the engine, you have to know how to hook up to a hydrant. Know your tools. Know. I think they got to know how much hose is, in each section, how to properly stretch a line and operate a line.
Okay.
For truck, you have to know where everything is. You have to know how to do your escape maneuvers. You have to know how to package a down fireman, force a door, throw a ladder, things like that.
Yeah.
And as long as you have an officer or a training officer, has to watch you do it and then sign off on it. And then once you're signed off, you get passed to the next company. And then usually the chiefs will assign you to whichever company.
So the chief's assigned. So you don't really pick, or you do kind of.
It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
Okay.
Because sometimes, like I said, some companies need the manpower.
Okay. So then that's
So
sort of like that's
we
where
can't
you're
stack
going.
everybody in one company.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't put everybody in truck or hose 1 or hose 3. So
Okay.
we've been getting a lot of influx of probies lately. So
Okay.
our numbers have been doing a lot better. So sometimes officers be like, hey, I want this guy.
And then they'll put it.
Yeah,
in
and if the
there.
numbers are balanced,
Yeah.
you should be like, all right, cool, no
Go
problem.
ahead. No problem. All right,
So-
cool. All right, so yeah, because that's a different dynamic that a lot of departments don't do. It's wherever you join is where you land.
Because everyone's got companies, but realistically, we get a mutual aid for a truck. Anybody can go.
Anybody
if you show
can hop
up,
on
as long as you've done the training, fast training and things like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, at headquarters we have truck and engine one. So whoever's there, you get a mutual aid for either or. People in the firehouse, they're not gonna sit there and wait up like, oh, this is not my company.
Yeah.
You're out the door.
Yeah, you're out the door.
You got to know everybody's job.
That's right. And Uniondale's kind of the same, where we technically do cross training. So
Yeah.
you'll go over there and you'll go learn truck work. You'll go learn that and do that. So then you're able to hop on the rig on that mutual aid call. All right, so let's get to a little bit before I get into some stories, because, bro, I know you got some stories, bro. I know for a fact. First of all, everybody knows, especially if you live in Uniondale, our best jobs came from Roosevelt. So we
definitely
were
had some
on
good
that
ones.
bridge waiting.
Yep.
creeping. We got the rig right there on that bridge waiting. Up, they toning out. Let's go. Let's wait.
Sitting
So
there.
I know we got, but we're gonna get into those. But
Okay.
first, let's get into, you're in Roosevelt.
Yeah,
And then let's fast forward now, because you're a Baltimore City fireman,
correct.
right? So what makes you want to go all the way out to be more?
So I will definitely give kudos to Chief Aaron Martin, who used to be in the department.
Okay.
He used to be FDNY as well, Rescue 4. He'd always be on me like, listen, take every test, don't waste your time. If this is what you want to do it.
Yeah.
So I put in for departments in PA, Connecticut, New York, Virginia, Maryland. And I was like, you know what? Whoever calls me.
And that's where you go.
Because this is what I want to do. So instead of just sitting here waiting for one place, just apply everywhere. So I'm sitting there. They called me. I was like, all right, went down, did my test and everything, passed the written. Called me back, said you got to come do, call it an oral interview, which you sit in a room with things like 3 or 4 people, and they ask you questions, and they go by how you answer the questions. I feel like it's more like they testing your character,
Yeah.
like if you're going to do the right thing,
Interrogating you almost.
Basically. You got to do an agility test as well.
Okay.
And then if they give you a letter to get your medical, that's their conditional offer of employment. So I got my letter to do my medical.
So you was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So passed my medical, and they emailed me like, hey, academy starts this date. And I was like, all right, bet. So let everybody know. I was like, I'm out of here.
I'm going.
So,
but are you really out of here? Is what the question is.
for the most part, I mean,
All right.
like I said, I went down there solo. So like all my family, everybody's still up here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like I said, I packed up all my stuff, went down there, was renting. I was in the academy.
Okay.
And, I said, I come up here often because I said all my family and everybody's up here.
Okay.
So I always have ties up here, but, slowly transitioning.
Slowly transitioning to get over there.
But no rush, no rush,
No rush,
It's only been like 2 years almost. So, take your time. Take it slow.
Yeah, take it slow. Take your time. All right, so let's get back to Roosevelt. So you're in Roosevelt. You finally get in. What makes you say, I want to make that leap, that jump to get into office?
That's a very good question.
Because you got to be almost crazy, right? Like you're
a little
bit crazy because you're already in the fire department. But now you want to be the boss in here and deal with the rest of these knuckleheads? Like, what makes you say I want to do this?
I feel like it might have been like kind of you want to have a voice sometimes, and sometimes not being an officer or a chief or something, people kind of need to just brush you right off. Yeah. But when you have that rank and somewhat authority, what you say has power to an extent. So I kind of want to be more involved and, get things done. And I guess, being from the military, you're used to, like, want to be in charge and then take control of different things like that. Yep. And starting. Sounds a little cocky now that I think about it.
Just a little bit. That's all right. That's all right. That's the fire department.
But you want to be in there. You want to, make these moves, And I enjoy training and teaching. So, like, then you can be in that position, to make sure things are done the right way.
Yeah. How did you even get into that role? Because you said you were doing training and teaching in Roosevelt. How do you get into that role? Is it senior guys that were like, yo, you
for the most part, it was like our senior guys that were there, because with us, when you do like to get cleared, mass confidence, you have to go through truck company. Okay. So, our officers and chiefs would stay on top of us to make sure we know what we're doing.
That's right.
And then we, moving forward. And then, we wanted to do train officers, and we were getting, like, when we did bailout, I was one of the guys that could help.
Train the trainer.
I was training trainer. So things like that. So anything I could do to get better at what we do, I'd volunteer for it, just so always keeps me busy. And that way, we always have somebody who knows what's going on and can teach others. So people can be like, oh, well, I didn't know that. I'd be like, I definitely taught you that.
Yeah. Like, you definitely know.
Because I look at it as, like I said, my family lives here. So I want you to be trained as best as you can be in case it's my family or it's my house, God forbid. Yeah. So that's just how I look at it.
All right. So 10 years, bro. I know you got some stories. Like, I was waiting. I need to know something. At least give me 2 good stories.
2 good ones?
Two good stories. And from anywhere, right? I mean, even if you got some from Baltimore, let's save those.
Oh, yeah, we'll save those.
We'll save those. I want to hear some from Roosevelt.
From Roosevelt? I'd probably say, I don't know if it was my first fire ever or I know it was definitely one of my very first few fires. Okay. On Commodore. We were, third due engine maybe?
Commodore, wait, you talking
Uniondale? Yeah, that dead end block. It was like
the one with the fire right there on the right. As soon as you come into Commodore, you make the right.
Yep, the last house on the right.
White House. That was
where the dude broke his leg on the ladder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Hope you're doing well, brother. That was painful, but I remember that because I remember we were there. I was in the back. We got our thing. Chief Riddick was in charge. Yep. So I remember they hit the horn.
Shout out to Riddick, surgeon. We're gonna get him up here.
They hit the horn, telling everybody to come out. So we're all out, and he's like, "Yo, give me 5 minutes." And he told me, he's like, "Yo, mask up," and I'm like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?"
Like what? Because that joint was rocking.
It was. That basement was going.
What?
So he got the line. We at the top of the stairs. Fire's coming up. He's working his way down. He's like, "Yo, stay at the top of the stairs." So I'm like, "All right." Me not listening. I'm slowly inching my way down. So I'm like, if he tell me to stay up here, then, we probably shouldn't be here, but, it is what it is. Like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. I'm brand new.
You trust him.
So, he's knocking it, and he yells for me. I come down. He was like, all right, do your thing. He's like, you see the glow over there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, aim that way, So I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, I like this. But that was definitely one of my most memorable fires, I would definitely say. Definitely learning experience.
I think it's dope that you were able to trust, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it really is about, especially in the volunteer services. You got to trust those senior men.
Absolutely.
And you put the trust into them. Like you said, you were like, you want me to do what? But you was like, listen, I trust him. Yeah. I trust him with my life. If this is what he's going to say, I'm going to go do it. But yeah, so no, what else? I know you got some more stories. Talk to me.
Let me see.
What else you got?
I would definitely say another wild one was New Year's Eve. Might have been 21.
And just so everyone knows that is listening, it is something in the fire services that you always get calls on holidays.
Yeah, it never fails.
It never fails.
Yeah,
like,
Christmas. Oh, Christmas is a good one, especially with the lights. Hanukkah too.
Okay.
Hanukkah.
Yep.
Because was it Hanukkah? Yeah, they leave the candles burning and everything.
All of that. So we always are getting something on a holiday. But go ahead, New Year's Eve.
For over 50 years, Fire News has been the preferred publication for fire, rescue, and EMS heroes. Fire News print edition reaches Long Island, 17 states, and the District of Columbia. Visit firenews.com to see the latest news, read their digital prints, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram pages. In print, online, on social media, Fire News has you covered. Visit firenews.com. And if you go ahead and go visit on Instagram, please leave a comment and tell them that WRHU 88.7 the Firehouse sent you.
We got a call, which I think was it Deborah Voice or Delisle? I think it was Delisle. Cold outside, truck rolls we got 4, engine rolls, I think they had a couple. I told the probe, I was like, listen, go with Pat. I said, I'm going to take care of the hydrant because the engine only rolled with 2. So I was like, I'll hook up, did our thing, pull up, you got fire showing already out the force side from the basement. Hook up, I come back up, I jump on the second line with, it's Chief now, TJ.
Okay. You got to get him on the show too.
Yeah. Going through the front door because Abner then went to the basement, was knocking the basement out. But you still had fire coming up the side of the house, into the second floor. Get to the back, go up the stairs, doing our thing. We go back down, move more line. And I would say things went from bad to worse in probably the blink of an eye.
Talk to me.
Talk
to me. How does that happen?
All you see is, I see one guy crawling out the front door, and then the other 2 from my truck that one are like running towards me. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what's going on?
So they're coming towards me, and like you see like a flicker in the smoke, and I was like, oh. So we make our way out, and the next thing you know, fire's blowing out the back window. Like, wow. We realized that after the fact that the room next to us, the floor dropped into the basement. Fire came up, was blowing out the what's that?
Nobody was in that room.
Yeah, there was like 3-4 corners. Like I saw a video online. It's blown out the 3-4 corner. That whole room was going. Then we had. You had maybe 6 guys trapped upstairs because the fire was blowtorching up the stairs. So
it's like
everybody's coming out of windows. So I get out and they're yelling for ladders because we didn't have enough ladders out. So people are running with 24s, throwing 24s to windows. You had like 3 guys from Hempstead, 3 guys from Roosevelt. Pat was up there, John, TJ, a few guys from Latitude, and then I think a guy from Truck 1.
Okay.
Everybody's coming out of windows.
Everybody's coming out.
Because there was nowhere to go, and it was just like.
It's real.
Blink of an eye. It was seconds. It felt like seconds. Like
you just sitting there working, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, because the first floor was like it wasn't even like you could see on the first floor. Like it was a little hazy. Like you had fire in the basement and then you had fire on the second floor. So it was like first floor was like it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then it was just
like that.
I was like, all right, okay.
Blink of an eye.
It was an experience. Definitely an experience.
I can imagine, man. And that's something that I guess our listeners that aren't in the fire services don't understand. Like he said, it can literally go from bad to worse in 2 seconds. And that's a perfect example of that, where you think everything is fine. And if you can explain a little bit, because some of the listeners may not understand, you have fire in the basement.
Yeah.
How does it skip a floor and get to the second floor?
So you have like balloon frame construction, which basically means there's no fire stops. So it's basically your walls are wide open. So you could have a basement fire and it gets in the walls, but you got smoke chugging out the attic. So it looks like an attic fire, but it's all in the basement.
It's all in the basement.
So there's nothing stopping it from running up the walls and taking the whole house.
There you go. So when he says balloon, he's talking about the voids in the wall. We have those spaces and it could go straight up in the house, right?
Yeah.
And I guess not really in a building we have fire stops and things like that, but in a house it can go straight up. So you can have a full rocking basement fire, skip the first floor, where you could literally walk in there and be fine, and it's rocking upstairs. So
straight up,
it goes straight up. And now walking into that, right, especially as an officer, right, you pull up to a scene like that. Where are you going first, right? Where are you going to go first? It's blowing out. You see it out the basement, out the windows. You see it up there. Where are you going first?
I mean, I would definitely say if you see, I think it comes with experience.
Okay.
Because if you see it, if you got fire visible in the basement, you got smoke pushing out the attic, I feel like you would assume it's balloon frame. So you're gonna assume that it's probably at this point it's probably in the walls already.
Okay.
But you need to knock out that basement because if the basement's going, it's weaker than the first floor. And you don't want that first floor to drop in while you're operating. So
That's right.
make the best knock you can on that basement. Try to put the basement out, and then just work your way.
Work your way down.
Work
your way out.
One guy, ex-Chief Tyler, TJ's dad, he's like, go to the attic, pull the ceiling, stick the nozzle in the wall, and it'll just come down like the rain because the walls are wide open already.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
it'll run down the walls.
Run down the walls. Yeah, listen, those are all the tricks of the trade that we learned from those senior men. All right, so let's keep going. I got a good question for you. What is one common myth you'd want to debunk about firefighting?
I would definitely say the calendars. We don't do calendars. Like everybody's got dad bods. Like
someone else has said this before.
I'll call it firefighter fit. Like
firefighter fit.
You might look. Some people might look a little fat, a little chunky, whatever.
Little love handles.
But they can work. Like
on
a fire ground, they can do their work. We're not sitting here walking around, 12 packs and whatnot. Might be carrying a 12 pack. But everybody got. But you got the guys that that are in the gym every day.
Of course,
give it to them. But like I said, some guys are just everybody's got dad bods.
That's it. Everybody's got it.
But we got like I said, we firefighter fit. So,
you're still able to do your job,
and that's what matters.
And that's all that matters, right? Maybe we should put together a calendar, a dad bod calendar. We should do a 7 battalion calendar, yo. That would be.
I'm having a little scary.
I mean, you know what? It'd be a great fundraiser because people would buy it just to laugh.
Listen, you're not wrong.
You're not
wrong.
All right, so what stories do you have from Baltimore? So first of all, how long have you been in Baltimore now?
In January, we'll make 2 years.
January make 2 years. So how is it over there? I know you got some stories on there. Any calls there that was like?
Honestly, it was a culture shock. Like Baltimore is different. Like,
yo, that's
the best way I can explain it. It's different.
Everyone has said that, yo.
It's different. It's a different world. Like, being out here somewhat prepped me for it, but I got down there, I was like,
wow.
Yeah, different. Like,
where is your firehouse? Because I'm pretty sure all the listeners, especially people that have time, we used to go down to the Firehouse Expo. Mm-hmm. So we'd be down there. How close in proximity
from the harbor?
Because we remember going, there's a firehouse right there when you go over there.
So that's Stedman. That's like Rescue 1, Engine 23.
All right. So that's not, you're not there.
No.
Okay.
No. My half fire's on Frederick. I'm at Truck 8, part of the 38 Special. So Engine 30, Truck 8.
Okay.
So from the harbor, I mean, for us, we make a left out the firehouse and you go straight down. You just keep driving, you hit the harbor.
And then you hit that.
So
okay. Not too
10,
far.
15 minutes.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
Not far at all.
All right, so keep going, man. You said it's different.
It's definitely different.
It's different.
So we do more with less. So like up here, when a truck, you used to riding with 6.
Yeah.
We ride with 4.
Wow.
Same with the engine. Engine rides with 4.
And this is paid.
But
they're still okay.
We ride with 4. So that to me, I was like, okay, this is weird. So everybody, so I know.
So what's your positions riding with 4?
So it depends. I could be the tillerman or I could be riding step. Okay. So, the tillerman and step work together, basically like the OV and the roof. Well, just actually OV more so because your EVD, your driver, goes to the roof.
Okay.
Your officer does forcible entry.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your officer's working.
So, yeah.
Working.
So your step man and your tillerman, you throw your 24, 30, 35.
Okay.
Step man will go up to the top floor. Tillerman will go up to the floor below you. You do your searches and you meet up, you know. So, yeah, like I said, you do more with less. It's very different.
More with less. All right. So, what stories you got? What's some good stories from B-More that you got?
I mean, I'm still a little fresh down there.
Still a little fresh. Okay.
So I would definitely say probably my first fire that I had.
Okay.
Which was.
I mean, you know what? That's a great way to start. The first fire, because coming from Roosevelt, coming from out here, that first fire, I know you're like, first of all, you're on the rig with 4 people, so it's like, wait, what's going on? But go ahead. So let's start there.
All right. So the thing they do there is you ride 5th. So your first, for me, it was our first 10 shifts. You ride as the 5th man on your company. So I'm 5th on the truck. We get a report of a dwelling fire, not too far from the firehouse on Potter. Okay. We're coming down and driver's like, we got one, and I'm looking. I was like, what do you see that I don't see? Like, I'm looking out the window. I'm like, I'm like, Tim, what are you talking about? And we pull up, and he stops. And I look out the window to my right, and I was like, oh.
We got one.
Blowing out the first and second floor, and it's just going. We have row home, middle of the row home, just going. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right. Look to the step man, who's my senior guy. He actually just got promoted to lieutenant.
Congrats.
And he's like, all right, ladders. So we grab a 24, throw a 24. I was like, what you need me to do? He's like, go to the Delta exposure, force the door. I said, no problem. I go over there, get open the metal door, force open the wooden door to get inside the dwelling, peek my head in real quick, and I hear a cough. And I'm like, I look in. I was like, I see there's a guy on the couch. Like, so you got to leave. I was like, it's like the house on fire is on fire. Like, the house next door is on fire. Like,
Baltimore's different.
his house is like full of smoke.
And he's sitting in there chilling.
I was like, you got to leave. He's like, I can't. I was like, sir, you have to leave. And he's like, I'm paralyzed. And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, he's a big dude. Like, big dude. So, me
gotta get on the radio.
You know what's funny? I didn't. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, I think I had tunnel vision for a second. Okay. So I'm over there. I'm like, didn't realize how heavy he was. So I'm trying to get him out. Another guy came in from another truck. He's like, yeah, he's like, he walks in. He's like, you good? I was like, nah.
No, I'm not good.
So he comes, help out, and got help from the RIT or the FAST, whatever people want to call it. Yeah. Got this guy out because we're trying to get him out. And he's like, he keeps trying to grab his cell phone. Because he was trying to call 911 to tell him that he was trapped. But he keeps trying to grab his phone. He keeps trying to
we're like, dude, we're here.
Yeah, he keeps trying to grab his like little scooter, to get himself around.
Yeah.
Got him off the couch and his legs slide under the couch. It's just like, I'm like,
it was a lot. Mind you, there's fire all above you at this moment, and the floor above.
This apartment was just straight smoke because the house next door was fully involved. Basically.
Okay.
So I'm just like, this is ghetto. I'm like, so in my head, I'm like, so this is. Because you do the victim removal training, and in the academies, things like that. We use the dummies. I was like, this is not like the academy at all. I was like, this is different. But finally got him out. Did my searches. Came out. They pulled everybody out. And I think somebody parched them through a floor. So everybody out. Hit it from outside for a little bit. My lieutenant's like, we're going to the roof, and I was like, all right. Climb up the stick, go to the roof. They gave me a pick head axe to open up.
Let's go.
So I start chopping away, get that section off. One guy goes to cut with a saw, and a guy from another comes like, listen, man, you got a rookie. Give him the saw. So he's like, boom. So he had me cut out the skylight. So that's when I learned how thick these roofs can be. Because
you in there.
I cut all the way through, and you think you're through, and you're not. It's just tar paper, and it's just that thick. So you get all the way through, you got to pull it all back, and then you got to go and cut again. And I was like, roof work is different. I'm like, so it was, my lieutenant probably had me do every skill I've learned as being in a truck, searches, overhaul, roof work. We did everything on that first fire besides vehicle electrification. And I was just like,
wow.
I was like, all right.
This is what I got myself into, but this is what you wanted.
I love it.
I love it. And you loved it.
And like I said, my lieutenant's big on training, so usually train at least twice a shift anyway. So it was definitely a wake up all right, this is what we're doing.
There we go.
Got it.
All right, so let's get a little bit back to Roosevelt here. Let's get back to Roosevelt. Walk me through a typical day in Roosevelt. Do you train on Sundays? Do y'all train on Thursdays, Fridays? When do you train? Or is Sunday your day? Because some people, Sundays, that's not their day. But is Sunday your day?
Jobtown Graphics is your go-to for custom prints, t-shirts, patches, stickers, and more, turning your creative ideas into reality. Owned and operated by a firefighter, they bring dedication and precision to every project. Whatever you can imagine, they can produce. Visit them at Jobtown Graphics on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Drop a comment if you go on Instagram and tell them that WRHU 88.7 The Firehouse sent
Sunday
you.
your day?
So Sunday is everybody's day. You come in, you check the rigs, make sure everything's good. Truck trains on Wednesdays.
Okay.
But sometimes we do train on Sundays if we got a decent sized crowd. And let's go over this real quick. So we'll hang out for a little bit, go over some stuff, even if it's just a classroom, sit down. PowerPoint or watch videos or whatever, just to brush up, make sure everybody's up to par. If I got a lot of new guys, I try to get them Sunday and Wednesday. So Sunday, I'll be like, hey, let's go throw some ladders real quick in the back, just so they get comfortable doing what you have to do in the truck.
Okay.
Like I said, but Wednesdays is more so our day, but we also open it to everybody. Any company can come down, whatever we're doing, whether we're doing firefighter removal, forced entry, ladders, searches, whatever we're doing.
Okay.
We're like, hey, everybody come on down. We always try to include EMS as well.
Okay.
So that way, especially because we're working these guys hard, so we keep EMS there. They always do a rehab, check their vitals when we finish what they're doing. If they're doing the maze or something.
Okay.
Just make sure guys good. They got water. So.
And I even went out there and trained. That's the beauty of Roosevelt too. Like, and because Uniondale Roosevelt's so close, I remember when I was captain, I'd bring my probies down there and we'd be working all together.
We gotta get back to that.
We gotta get back to that. Get back to training. Get back to
COVID
that
messed
fun.
up a lot.
It did.
Because we had set up where we had us, Merrick, and North Merrick truck companies would train together once a month, every month.
Wow.
And we would just rotate who would host. Then COVID came and it was just like,
that's it. Nobody's doing anything. No more.
Yeah. And that kind of, I feel like doing that definitely built a strong relationship. Because we all mutual aid to each other. We all go to each other's trucks. Yeah. You know, North America comes as a fast. We go to them as a fast. Merrick as a truck, you know, vice versa. So I was like, you know what? This is like, if we go somewhere, I feel like you should be training with your mutual aid companies.
That's right. Yeah.
Especially, you know, like knowing their equipment, you know what they got. So we go here on a regular basis. You know, this year's been a little slow for everybody, but I feel like if you go somewhere on a regular basis, know their equipment, know what they got.
You need to know their stuff. You need to know their stuff. So now you're a lieutenant. How do you keep that camaraderie in your companies, or even just the camaraderie with other companies in your own department?
So for our company, we hang out a lot. So like we were good.
And for y'all don't know, Roosevelt throws some of the best parties. They in competition with Brookside, Company 2 in Uniondale. Listen, we up there.
Holidays is coming, man. That's all I'm saying.
Them parties. Really quick, before we even get to all of that, let me tell you right now something about Duff. Duff will be at every single installation that you know. Yo, Duff is at every installation turning up. When I say you have a good time when Duff is there, it's a good time.
Listen, you said free food and drinks. Got you.
But yeah, how do you keep that camaraderie, you know, in your company?
We do a lot, honestly. Like we'll throw in a chat. We'll be at the firehouse. Like, who's around? All right, come to Firehouse. We'll hang out. Mm-hmm. We'll come at like 6 p.m. and we'll leave at like midnight from playing dominoes all night long. Wow. Like we'll order food or something real quick, you know, Ludi, dominoes, and we'll just be sitting there just playing all night, or we'll just, you know, BS. Like some guys go fishing. Guys go on like paintball trips, you know, consistently. So we're always doing something
to stay and kind of keep that camaraderie, people together.
Yep.
Duff, for y'all know, is one of my boys. He literally has been in my house. We play spades all the time.
Yeah, man. Good times.
Get it in with some spades all the time. But all right, so before we get out of here, I still got some more questions for you. But before we start these questions, let's get into the game, the flashover. Are you ready for the flashover, Duff?
Let's do it, brother.
All right, first, for everybody listening, what is a flashover, Duff?
Basically, when everything in the room hits its ignition point and just lights off.
Lights off. Just like that, really quick. And that is the premise of this game. I'll give you Android, Apple. You got to give me either one really quick. What's the answer? We're going to do TVs and movie shows.
All right,
I'm pretty sure you saw it.
Couple,
right?
Yeah.
So, again, it's funny. I always mention this because, and you tell me, do you think I should change the TV shows and change them up a little bit? Because everyone's been telling me, some people will say yes and some people will be like no because they want to hear what you're going to say about these.
I feel like I like it. I also feel like it depends on the crowd because, like, it depends, like, age-wise. Like,
and that's what I was
saying.
Depends
who you get on here because not everybody,
some of the
like,
new stuff people not even going to know. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. So, Duff, are you ready for the flashover?
Let's get it, brother.
Let's get this going. All right. Here we go. Chicago Fire, rescue me.
Rescue me.
Rescue me, third watch.
Rescue me.
You already know. Rescue me is what it is. Backdraft, ladder 49.
Ladder 49.
Ladder 49 over backdraft? Okay, all right, okay. We'll talk about it in a second because I got to know why. All right, and the most important question I'm going to ask today, which I kind of already know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway, engine or truck?
It's always about the truck, baby.
Always about the truck. Boom, 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 boom. I hear you. Listen, I'm an engine guy, but I'll take that, all right? I'll take it. I'll take the truck. Did you hear what somebody has said on the show before?
Oh, the firefinders.
Talk to me. How you feel about that as a hardcore truckie?
It's all good because y'all get lost. You know, you got your umbilical cord, you know, taking you back to the engine.
Oh, you trying to pull out the umbilical cord.
So it's cool. It's all right. It's all right. You know, just like, what's that saying? With the engine guy looked up and saw what a real fireman was after he cut the hole. And he was like, he thought it was Jesus, but you know it was just a truck man.
It was just a truckie, just a truckie.
So you know,
I love it. That's a sound clip right there. That's gonna be one. You can get some engine guys pissed off on that one. All right, so ladder 49. Why ladder 49 over backdraft? Backdraft is like the Bible. Everyone loves that.
Ladder 49 is also Baltimore City based. I'm just gonna throw that out there too.
There we go. I didn't think about
I'm a little biased to it.
There you go.
You
little bias.
Especially like I said, being down there, you learn a lot more. Like these guys actually went to the academy.
Okay.
So
in that movie, they went to the academy.
So for training, they actually went to our fire academy.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, backdraft is cool and all, but
it's
I feel
the
like
same academy, right? That we went when we go down for the expo when we used to go down there. Is that the same academy that?
Did we? I don't remember us going to the academy. I must just been at the convention center.
No, remember there would be classes that you would do, and I believe it was at the academy.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah,
On Pulaski House. Yeah.
So that's your academy there for Baltimore. Okay, all right. So in Ladder 49, they actually went down there to learn and do that. Okay, so I would say, and I've heard this before, that Ladder 49 they felt was more realistic.
I do feel it's a lot more realistic.
A lot more
Backdraft
realistic.
is just like
it was a real movie.
Yeah, I feel like we all know we're not all running there with no mask on, with fire blowing out the door.
You know,
you gonna come
kicking doors down. And walking
I mean,
in.
you're kicking doors, sure, but like you got fire and smoke pushing out. You're not running there.
Standing up,
having a conversation, just walking right in. Like, come on,
not gonna happen.
We're not
gonna happen. All right, so got another question for you. All right, how has the volunteer services changed your life?
Oh, very, very positively, I would say. There are so many connections that I've made that I feel like I've never have. Different experiences, especially with people with jobs. So we've got, like, our company alone, you know, I worked EMS and fire for a while. You know, you had guys that were electricians, bus drivers, sanitation, Department of Transportation. So everybody had connections everywhere. I mean, you would always help people out.
Yeah.
And then you have jobs in Nassau that you can't even get without being a volley. You know, like fire marshal's office, fire comm.
Yep.
So if that's things that people want to do, you know, you can't get it unless you do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it gets you more involved with the community as well. You know, helping educate people on things that we do. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know what the fire department does. They kind of just call 911 because they don't know who else to call. So it happens all the time, you know, like, hey, I got my tank's leaking water, or, you know,
they call
911. Like, you should probably call a plumber, you know. But things like that.
You become everything.
Yeah.
So with that said, right, for someone that is listening right now, right, that may be just got in, or possibly thinking about getting in and listening to this show, what is one piece of advice you'd want to give that person?
Do it for the right reasons. Do it because, you know, you want to help your community, or you want to help people, or it's a new venture you want to take to see if, you know, this is something that you'll enjoy doing. Don't be a t-shirt fireman. Don't do it, you know, don't be that guy that just does it to do it just to be in the pictures, but never contributes.
Yep.
You know, because everybody's got them. No matter where you go in the world, every job's got that 10% of people who
knife and forkers, we call them, or t-shirt firemen.
Yeah, they're just there. You know,
yeah.
They never do anything, but they're always in the picture.
Or always got something to say too.
Exactly. You know, you don't want to be that guy. You know, if you have something to contribute, do that. You know, do it because you enjoy helping people. You know, like I said, if you're gonna do it for the right reasons. It's the greatest job in the world.
There you go. I love to hear that. Say that again, right there.
Greatest job in the world.
Greatest job in the world. I love that.
That's my biggest thing. If you're gonna do it right.
Do it all the way. Do it all the way.
100%.
I wanted to ask you about a piece of equipment that you think has changed just being a firefighter. But before I say that, I just want to, I always like to highlight, we had Chief Josiah up here, and he had said one piece of equipment that was important. He didn't even say equipment. He said a person. He said that senior man, learning all of that stuff. So I thought that was great, and I always like to bring that up. But for you, being in Roosevelt, being in Baltimore, what piece of equipment have you seen that has really helped you do your job?
I would have to agree with the chief. Honestly, your senior guys,
okay.
100%, like that experience. If we're talking about like new days technology, I'd say like battery operated tools have been very, you know, can be very helpful.
All right.
But definitely that senior guy, you know, because you can learn. You might feel like you know something, and then, you know, like I said, we're younger. We tend to be cocky. That's the reality of it. You know, people might want to admit it, but we tend to be very cocky.
Very much so.
And a lot of people don't want to listen. A lot of people don't like change. But you got those, like you said, you got those senior guys who have been in longer than you've been alive.
That's right.
And yes, you know, times do change. You know, things that burn, constructions change, all of that changes. But the basics are the basics.
That's right.
So you got these guys, you know, who know what they're doing.
Know it all.
Even when things change, you know, your basics are your basics. So, like I said, your senior guys and guys that you can pick their brain.
Yep.
You know, like I tell guys, be annoying. Like, you know, ask questions, because when you sit there and you never ask anything or, you know, participate, it seems like you don't want to be here or you're not engaging.
That's right.
You know, a lot of people, you know, get intimidated, like, oh, you know, I don't want to do this or that. be annoying. Ask questions. It's like there's no dumb questions except the question you don't
and
ask.
they love that, especially the senior guys, especially your lieutenants, especially your captains and all of that, your chiefs. They love the questions.
Exactly.
Because that means you care. That means you really want to know and want to know your job. And you know any firefighter loves to teach.
Yeah.
Loves to teach. So
And then you got like the really older dudes who, they feel helpful. They feel like they're helping,
That's right. That's right.
So you're helping them out and helping yourself at the same time.
That's right.
Because, they don't feel like, they're just old now. They're just there. Like, you're coming to them to learn. So now, they feel, everyone likes feeling useful at the end of the day.
Yep.
So that's definitely a big thing.
And that's something that you'll always hear. And I've heard my senior guys say, I have forgotten more fires than you've been to.
Yeah.
I've heard that. But imagine that. That's how many they've been to. And all of that knowledge they want to give to you.
Exactly.
You got to love that.
You got to want to learn.
Got to. That's it. Got to want to learn. My boy, man, thank you for coming down, man. Thank you for coming down. Am I forgetting anything? Shout out your Instagram. Shout out all of that. The Baltimore City Fire Department. Shout it all out. Shout it all out.
I mean, my Instagram is your boy Flash.
Your boy Flash.
Listen, man, made that in like middle school, so it is what it is.
Change.
I still use my TikTok from time to time. Iron Man 7351.
Here we go.
That's really about it,
All right.
But just throw it out there for those that do know me, because I'm sure the question out there. No, I'm not on a booster seat today. I've got it at home because I know you guys got them short jokes.
Everybody got them short jokes.
It is what it is. I know my feet don't touch the floor, but hey,
that's
man.
all right. You good? These chairs come all the way up, so we're
Listen,
good.
it is what it is. Just want to throw that out there for anybody
Put
asks.
that out there. I know they're gonna have something to say. They will. Listen, man. Thank you so much for coming down here. This was great. I loved it. But again, anything that I'm forgetting that you want to bring up, anything.
Not that I can think of,
Nothing.
but we definitely got to get some of these guys from Roosevelt.
We got to
down
get
here.
more guys in here, right?
We should definitely do like a whole little kind of like a group session.
That's the plan as we go along. We did it once with a couple people, but I want to do that more. Like the next season, it'll be where it's a bunch of people in here, and we just turn it up.
So you should talk about like different topics. Cause like I said, you got senior guys, so like everyone's got their own experiences.
That's right.
So I would definitely, crack jokes, Like I said, the hardest thing is gonna be language, 'cause
That's it. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of editing.
you get a room full of us. It's kind of like
it's hard.
every other word's beep beep beep. I'm like,
it just be silent probably for like a couple of minutes. All right, man, Duff. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen, everybody, we just heard from Malik Duff from the Roosevelt Fire Department, also Baltimore County Fire Department, right?
Baltimore City, brother.
Baltimore. Look, I already messed it up, right?
Put some respect on it, man.
Put some respect on it. You know what?
Baltimore City, baby.
Baltimore City, not Baltimore. Wait, so it's not Baltimore County.
That's a separate fire department.
That's a whole.
They separate. It's something else.
It's something else, but it's in Baltimore.
It's not important. Baltimore City. But yeah,
let's start this over.
But yeah, Baltimore County is that's a separate department.
All right, so then we're gonna start it over. We just heard from my boy Malik Duff from the Roosevelt Fire Department and also Baltimore City Fire Department. Get that right.
Yes, sir.
About his life as a firefighter. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. I'm your host, Chris Moses, and please tune in next week to another great conversation in the Firehouse.